Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is not yet invalidated the short-term bullish divergence, as the price is now forming a new price pattern in the short term that we need to pay attention to, because this can set up a new price target, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside the Bitcoin liquidation heat map now revealing a new price target that we need to pay attention to, while the price of Ethereum is now retesting and bouncing from this crucial area on the price chart, alongside the price of XRP doing the same, currently bouncing from an important area on the price chart. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. But on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we still have that massive bearish divergence to watch out for, which is still influencing the price of Bitcoin on the larger time frame. So ultimately, if we're talking about the next multiple weeks or the next 1 month, that sort of time frame, expect a lot of weakness, lacking bullish momentum is a very likely scenario, as I've already been warning about here on the channel over the last 1 month or so, and has obviously been playing out over the last 1 month as expected. So just expect this to continue to play out on the larger time frames as a very likely scenario, despite what happens in the short term on the smaller time frames. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, we can see that right now the price of Bitcoin is continuing to hold above and continuing this bounce from this very important area of support here, still sitting in between around 99,000 to 100,000. So continue to expect a lot of support in that area if the price were to actually get back to that area. And as for resistance, expect a lot of resistance at roughly around 106 to 107,000 based on previous important support flipping into new resistance. And if we break out above 106 to 107,000, in that situation, the next important resistance is at close to 111,000. And technically speaking, on the daily time frame, we are still within kind of bearish price structure. Obviously, we can see shorter term bullish reliefs during the larger bearish movement, but at least for now, this is the current situation. The structure not looking too good if we're talking about the slightly larger time frames, the next few weeks or the next 1 month or so. But if we're talking about the shorter term on the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, at least as of recording this video, we've not yet actually technically confirmed the invalidation of this bullish divergence. Now, obviously, if you watched my last video, I said I'll not really be relying on this short-term bullish divergence much longer, considering it has already played out for around half a week here very nicely with a short-term bullish relief, and we ran into this area of resistance, obviously saw a short-term rejection from this resistance. So even though we've technically not yet invalidated the bullish divergence, like I said in my last video, don't really rely on the bullish divergence too much longer. But it is possible that the price could remain kind of range bound in the immediate short term, considering we do have a lot of support just below the price, like for example at roughly 101.5k to 102k, and of course definitely this area in between 99,000 to 100,000. We still have a lot of support just below the price, and obviously a lot of resistance just above the price in this area in between 106,000 to 107,000. So it's possible we could remain in a bit of a sideways price range just in the shorter term, not overly bullish or overly bearish. That's just a shorter term speculation or short term prediction. But if we see a confirmed breakout above 107,000 and actually hold above that level, in that situation, the next major resistance, like I said earlier, is at close to 111,000. And what we are also seeing right now on the small time frames in the short term here on the 4-hour Bitcoin price chart is a new price pattern currently forming, but not yet confirmed. I want to make that clear. It's not currently confirmed, not in play, but is something to watch out for in case it actually confirms. And this is indeed a cup and handle pattern, which is a bullish price pattern if, of course, it confirms. And in case you're new to all of this, in order to actually confirm the technical price target and the next possible trading opportunity, not financial advice, but the next possible trading opportunity for this price pattern right here, we first need to confirm a candle close, at least on the 4-hour time frame, ideally a slightly larger time frame, but at least a 4-hour candle close above this line right here, this line of resistance sitting at roughly 106,500. But ideally, I'd like to see a breakout above 107,000 and see that actually confirm with a candle close above that level and a hold above that level, in order to be more confident that we're actually breaking out and heading towards the next major price target. And in case you're wondering what that price target would be, if we're taking a look at the measured move for this cup and handle pattern, looking from this candle wick low right here from the cup, bringing it over towards the point of the breakout, that will set up a bullish price target at roughly $114,000 per Bitcoin. Or if we're taking a slightly more conservative target from just these candle closes here at the lows to this breakout line right here, we could see a price target at around 113,000. So basically around 113 to 114,000 would be the area that I'd be targeting if we first confirm a breakout. I want to make this clear. If we first confirm a breakout, ideally above 107,000. So if we break out above that level with confirmation, expect to move up towards these price targets at around 113 to 114k. But as I always say, we cannot ignore other points of resistance where the price could possibly struggle at or reject from. So even if we confirm the breakout above 107,000, activating this bullish price target up here at 113 to 114,000, obviously we also have that major point of resistance at close to 111,000, which will be an obstacle for the price if we get there, which could cause the price to struggle or possibly reject. So we need to keep that in mind as well. And in order to use this information in a trading strategy, as always, not financial advice, but how I like to trade these sort of moves is once we first confirm the actual breakout and ideally hold above the breakout line, then of course I would enter a long position. Once again, not financial advice, but trading this towards the price target, and then I'd look to take profits out of the trade, reducing the size of the trade, especially around the price target, but also potentially around points of resistance, considering it's possible we could reject from resistance and might not even hit the price target. But I don't necessarily close the entire trade at any one level. So for example, I would open a long position once we first confirm the breakout, not right now, and then take a little bit of profits, closing some of the trade, not all of the trade, maybe just before we reach that resistance at close to 111,000, and then closing a bit more of the trade, taking some more profits at roughly 113 to 114k, for example. And then as the trade moves further into profits, moving a stop loss at least towards break even, ideally moving a stop loss further into profits as the trade moves further into profits. So that's just an example of a breakout trading strategy that I have used many times here on the channel, making profits from these sort of breakouts. But remember, all of this right now is not yet confirmed, not yet in play. We first need to actually confirm the breakout above this line, but ideally above around 107,000 to start confirming these bullish price targets. And so in the meantime, considering we've not yet confirmed the breakout, my current Bitcoin trading strategy is the same trading strategy that I've talked about every day over the last 3 to 4 weeks now, which is this grid bot trading strategy. I won't speak too much about this in this video because obviously I've explained this trading strategy many times over the last few weeks. But overall, yes, I am still currently in the trade. It is indeed in a slight profit. Of course, we have a slight unrealized loss over here, but the realized grid profits is more than offsetting that slight unrealized loss. So even though the current price of Bitcoin as I record in this video is actually below my entry price, which for a long position would mean the trade sitting at a loss, but due to the fact that this is not just a regular long position, it's a grid bot trading strategy, the position is actually in a slight profit, even though the price is below my entry price. And so if you want to copy this exact trading strategy, not financial advice, no guarantees, but if you want to copy this trading strategy, I'll leave a link below the video. In fact, the second link below this video will take you to this page right here where you can copy this exact trading strategy that I've been using over the last almost 1 month now with a single click of a button to copy the trading strategy if you want to. As always, not financial advice, but because this is set up over on my Pinex account, of course, you need a Pinex account in order to actually copy this trading strategy if you want to. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to Pinex below the video. And if you use that first link below this video, that will take you to this page right here where you can take advantage of some major bonuses just by simply making an account to Pinex using the link below the video, completing KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus on your account. And on top of that, there's also deposit bonuses. If you deposit just 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus. If you deposit 10,000, you get a $1,000 bonus onto your Pinex account. So basically a bunch of free money from the exchange just by simply making an account, completing deposits or completing KYC using that first link below the video. But unfortunately, if you don't use the link below the video to actually make your account, you cannot claim any of these bonuses here. And also, if you don't use the link below the video to actually make your Pinex account, unfortunately, this copy button simply will not work. You won't be able to copy this trading strategy. So once again, you might as well take advantage of this using the links below the video if you want to. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see that right now over the last 1 week, week worth of price action. Obviously, I talked about in my last video that we already wiped out that area of liquidity perfectly that was sitting at around 107.3k, give or take. We perfectly hit that before seeing that rejection from that short-term resistance right here, which is what I explained in my last video. But what we are seeing right now is a new area of liquidity starting to build just above the price. Currently, it's not as significant as this previous area right here at around 107.3k, so it's still currently building, but something to watch out for. And this is sitting at around 107.5k, so this means there's an increased probability, as always, not guaranteed, but as this is building towards the upside, there's an increased chance that we could possibly see another little spike towards the upside to wipe out this liquidity at just above 107,000, around 107.5k. And now obviously if we just see a candle wick towards the upside, a quick move and then quick back down, we might not even confirm the breakout for the cup and handle. But ideally, if we take out the liquidity and actually confirm candle closes and then hold above 107,000, in that situation, that is all we'll need to start confirming the bullish cup and handle pattern to confirm new bullish price targets. So definitely keep an eye on this over the coming days. This could be a short-term opportunity. As if you want to take these sort of breakout trading opportunities on a no KYC exchange to take advantage of some major bonuses, I'll leave a link below the video to 2bit. In fact, the third link below this video will take you to this 2bit page right here, where you can take advantage of some major bonuses on this no KYC exchange. For example, simply just by trading and depositing crypto, you can get 10,000 USDT, up to 10,000 USDT in trial fund bonuses, and up to 8,000 USDT in actual withdrawable stablecoins just by simply depositing and trading crypto. So if you're going to be doing that anyway, you might as well check it out. Once again, third link below the video. And on top of that, without making any deposits or any trades, you can get a free $30 sign up bonus and 1 month free VIP 3 upgrade. So basically very cheap trading fees over on 2bit and essentially free money from the exchange, funding your account from the exchange just by simply making an account. It takes 30 seconds to do this using that link below the video. So once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway or preparing to take the next trading opportunity coming very soon, you might as well check it out. Once again, links below the video. And like I said earlier, 2bit is indeed a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and right now, honestly, in the immediate short term, the Bitcoin dominance is looking relatively neutral. It's not overly bullish or overly bearish, at least as of right now, which basically means a lot of the major altcoins out there on average, of course, there can always be outliers, but a lot of the major altcoins on average will likely perform very similar to whatever Bitcoin is doing. So basically just follow the Bitcoin analysis to figure out what could be very likely for a lot of the major altcoins, and that will likely be the case at least in the coming days here for the Bitcoin dominance. Not much has changed over the last 1 day on this chart. And if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum price chart, right now we're potentially on our way towards retesting this crucial level of resistance here based on this Fibonacci level of previous support currently acting as resistance, and that's sitting at around 3660. So at roughly 3650, 3660, expect a lot of resistance around there, which is pretty much perfectly where we just rejected from over the last few days or so. And once again, right now, it's looking likely that we could soon retest that resistance. And if we actually confirm a breakout above that resistance and ideally begin a breakout above 3.7k, in that situation, the next major point of resistance I'll be watching is at roughly 4.2k. So keep that in mind. This is a potential opportunity here in the short term, but we still obviously have to surpass this resistance. We're potentially just about to retest the resistance, which means there is still a possible risk of another rejection until, of course, we confirm the breakout. And as for support, continue to expect a lot of support at this exact Fibonacci level, which is perfectly where we bounced from, and that's sitting at around 3050, so just above 3000. And if we're taking a look at this daily Ethereum price chart over the last 1 to 2 days, the price obviously played out that slight pullback following very similar price action to Bitcoin, but we've actually retested this important area on the price chart, which was previous important support and a bit of short-term resistance close to a week ago, around half a week ago, and is now currently acting as new support again, as we've just seen a retest, obviously pulling back into that area. And so far, as of recording the video, currently seeing a slight bounce from this area, which is bullish price structure, flipping short-term resistance into new support. And so this is actually a signal on the price chart telling us that this oversold signal in the daily Ethereum RSI could likely continue to play out moving forward over the coming days, maybe even around a week, that sort of time frame, kind of like what we saw back here. For example, it's likely we could continue a little bit more of a relief, so just a slight bullish relief. I'll not necessarily expect a massive all-time high breakout like this straight away, but maybe just a slight bullish relief could be likely now that we're actually holding above this important area on the price chart for the price of Ethereum. And once again, simply pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing to figure out what is likely going to happen for a lot of these altcoins. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the 2-day time frame, right now Solana is simply trading in a bit of a sideways price range in the shorter term, in between important support and of course important resistance. So first of all, we have a lot of support in this area in between around 143 to 147, and a lot of resistance at around 170. And so overall, it is likely that just in the next couple of days, in the immediate short term, the price could remain in this sideways price range, bouncing between that support and that resistance. But of course, pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing. If, for example, Bitcoin confirms the cup and handle pattern with a breakout, then of course that would significantly increase the probability that Solana could also break out above this resistance in the short term. So pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing. Even if you're not interested in Bitcoin and you're just interested in altcoins, Bitcoin really helps lead the market. And in case you're wondering, if we break out above roughly $170 and actually hold above that, confirm the breakout, in that situation, I'd be targeting roughly 190 to 200 as the next major area of resistance. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, technically on the much larger time frames here, we're still playing out this massive bearish divergence as we have been doing for months now. So not much has changed over the last 1 day on this chart right here. But if we're looking at the somewhat short-term situation, we still have an active bullish divergence, technically still confirmed on the daily XRP price chart. And over the last couple of days, obviously the price got very close to this area of resistance in between $2.60 to $2.70. We got within around 1 to 2 cents of $2.60 and started to struggle very close to that resistance and see that slight rejection following Bitcoin in the short term, with that slight rejection over the last 1 to 2 days or so. But now we've actually retested this important area on the price chart, which, like I said in my last video, expect a lot of support in this area, which is sitting in between $2.30 to $2.40. And the moment we dipped into this area, at least so far as I've recorded in the video, that's exactly where we've now found support as expected. And so for as long as the price of XRP simply holds this as support, we still have this active bullish divergence, which means we could potentially see another slight little bullish relief in the coming days or over the next 1 week or so, just in the somewhat shorter term, potentially a little bit more of a relief, maybe even towards this resistance again to see another retest of this resistance in between roughly 260 to 270, especially if Bitcoin continues a bit more of a relief in the short term. Once again, that can help a lot of these altcoins in the short term. But for now, we're in a bit of a sideways price range in between roughly $2.30 to $2.70. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a very similar situation for Chainlink as what I just said for XRP. Technically, still have a bullish divergence on the daily time frame, but overall, the larger trend, just like XRP on the daily time frame, the larger trend still technically bearish as I've recorded in the video, and has been the case for months now, as I've been saying for months now on the channel, forming lower highs and lower lows. But just the short-term situation, talking about the next few days, maybe the next week, that sort of time frame, do we expect just either a slight bullish relief or maybe some choppy sideways price action? So basically a bit of a break or a relief from the trend, but not necessarily the end of the trend. So kind of like what we saw just here, or just here, for example, is very likely here in the short term, playing out the bullish divergence. And the good news is that over the last 1 day, despite seeing that short-term pullback, obviously we retested this important area on the price chart, and at least so far, as I've recorded in the video, is now holding this area as support. The price of Chainlink is now holding this as support, which is definitely something to pay attention to. And that's sitting in between around $15.20 to $15.70. So continue to expect support in that area. And if we continue holding that area, the next major resistance to watch out for is sitting at roughly $16.60 approximately. And above that, expect more resistance at $17.50 and major resistance in between $19 to $20. But overall, we're currently in a bit of a shorter term sideways price range for the next few days or so. Could be a likely scenario, kind of just bouncing around between this support at around $15.20 and this resistance at roughly around $16.60 or $17.50 as the resistance levels to watch out for. And so this is definitely the time in the market where you need to be set up, ready to go to take the next trading opportunity over on a crypto exchange. So once again, you might as well check out the links below this video to those exchanges to take advantage of those major bonuses. If you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well do that. Once again, links below the video. And in case you want to actually know how you can take these sort of trades to easily profit in the crypto market, no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.